Hello, hello. Okay, I know we have still 10 minutes left, but if there's someone listening already, I would like to ask you if you can hear me and if it's okay, maybe too loud, and maybe I should make it louder. Let me know. Hello, hello. All right. Does it work? Yeah, it's working. All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Building LiveChat Apps 101 Create, Publish, and Monetize Your App webinar. My name is Michał, and I'll host the webinar today. In my everyday work, I'm responsible for developer relations at LiveChat, but today I'll step into developer's shoes and try to create simple app myself. It will be published on the marketplace and available for sale for all our customers. First things first, if you notice any audio or video issues, just let me know on the chat and I'll do my best to fix this immediately. All right, I think we can begin. Let's start with a simple example of our app. So let's go to the browser. Basically, the app will allow agents to send custom cards to the customer using agent app widget. Let me show you that. When the customer starts the conversation, it's kind of hi, and the agent gets it. In the right upper corner, we have details section, and above that you can select new icon. You can create new app with your own icon, and this is the app that we're going to do today. So let me show you how it's going to work. All right, so we simply paste here the URL that we want to send to the customer. Then we drop the image of the URL, title, subtitle, and button text. Let's use click me, and send it to the customer. Here it goes. This is how it looks on the agent side, and on the customer side we get this card visible here, and after we click on that, it loads the page that we defined before. Right now I'd select the documentation, so let's go to any documentation right here, and as you can see, customer can explore the website that has been loaded here. So this is how it works, and we will do this application step by step, following our documentation and every step that is required for this in order to work. So let's start with the general agenda of today's webinar. We will start with creating an app in a developer console. Then we will go to our documentation, and I will explain how to use sign-in with LiveChat, Agent Chat API, Agent App SDK. Then we will I will explain how to apply design system and why it's important. And of course, very important thing here will be monetization. And at the end, we will have a few tips and tricks from me, and as always, as usual, Q&A session at the end. So we know what we want to do. We need now tools for that. So what you're gonna need for this is a LiveChat account. If you don't have one, you can create one for free on our website. Also, developer console account. If you have LiveChat account, developer console account is for free. The next thing will be a Firebase account. If you have your own hosting, you can use it. It's up to you. But I'm going to use Firebase as an example. It's easy and it can be used by anyone. We will also need our documentation, of course. It's a documentation for Agent Chat API, sign in with LiveChat button, and also Agent App SDK. All of the links for all of that is in the description of this webinar, so you can scroll down and it will be there. Also, whole application will be on a GitHub, so it's available for everyone, and you can use it as an example if you're creating your own app, or you can just download the code right now and follow me and do exactly the same to get the same effect. Of course, what we're gonna need also is a text editor and a terminal. So that's it. I think we can start with the Firebase. So we need to prepare the place to host our application. If you have your own hosting, as I said before, you can use it. It's up to you. So let's go to firebase.google.com and then log in with your Google account. I'm already logged in, so then use the button in the top right corner to go to console. And as far as it logs in the console, we create a new project. So I create a new project and name it whatever you want. I will name it Moment Cards Sender. Continue. You can select if you want the project to use Google Analytics. I don't need this, so I will disable it and create the project. It may take a while, so in the meanwhile, let's open the terminal. And in the terminal, we're going to install Firebase tools that will allow us to use the Firebase command on our computer. So let's start with the general command that will install Firebase tools. So you have it on the screen at the top. It's called Firebase tools. The script automatically detects your operating system and downloads the latest version of Firebase release, then enables the Firebase command globally for your terminal. I have it already installed, but it's good to use the command to download the latest version. Okay, so then when you do that, let's go to and place and log in to the Firebase. So use Firebase login. It should open, it should ask you if you want Firebase to collect anonymous data. I will disable it. Then it opens the browser. You have to log in there with your Google account. I won't show that for you, but it's a simple login with Google, so you just have to allow Firebase to access your Google account. And then in console, as you can see, I'm already logged in. So that's it about login in process. Then we have to initialize our project. So in the browser, as you can see, the project has been already created. It's ready. So we can go back to terminal and use the for start Firebase list to get list of all our projects and their names. And then we have to select the project here. So I will select the Moment Card Sender. So you can simply copy that and then use Firebase, use, and then paste the name of the project ID. And after that, we can initialize the project with Firebase in it. Okay, now it will ask us which features of the Firebase we're going to use. Let's move to the hosting using the arrow keys on your keyboard. Hit space to select, and then enter to confirm your selection. Ooh, I have something here. Hold on, I will check. Firebase list. I maybe used the wrong project here. Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay. I need to remove the default project file. So hold on. It may take a while. Let's try this one again. Okay, I'll try to add this as another project. And then initialize that one. Okay, it still doesn't allow me to do that, so allow me a moment, I will fix that and show it back to you, so hold on. All right, sorry for that. I got the issue. I was in the wrong directory. I was in a general directory of my user on the computer. I should be in a directory where my project directory, when my project is placed. So I moved to the project using the command, and then when I use Firebase init, it worked correctly. Sorry for that. Okay. Now, once you use Firebase init command, it asks you and select the feature for hosting, enter. It asks us the name of the directory which will store our app files. So I will use webinar for this case, and will ask us if you want to configure it as a single page app. I don't need that one, so I will say no, and that's it. So we have our Firebase setup done on our computer, but we want our application to be uploaded. So we use Firebase deploy, and it should deploy all our files from the directory to the Firebase, and then it should return the link that we will be able to enter in our browser. So let's copy that one. And let me show you the browser for you. And here it goes. Firebase hosting setup complete. It works, but we need something here, and we will replace the index.html file with our own application. Okay, so let's move on to actually creating the app. Nothing will happen if we don't have a LiveChat account. So if you don't have one, go to livechat.inc.com, and you can use one of this red button and sign up for free. There is a link also in the description, so you can do that right now or anytime. And then we go to developers console. So it's simply developers.livechat.inc.com /console. And we have to create our application. If it's your first time in developer console, it will ask you to answer one question. Then we go to apps. Here you can find some inspiration for your apps, like app ideas or maybe sample apps. You can also enter the community and share the ideas or search for ideas of app on our community forum. But we will create new app. It's the blue button in top right corner. Name your app wherever you want. It can be changed later. We'll name it Moments Card Thunder. And for the app template, let's choose here Agent App Widget, as this is what we're going to do today. Then click Continue. And as you can see, our app is already created. It doesn't have many functions yet, but we will change that soon. The apps in LiveChat are created with building blocks. In this app, we're going to use two of them. It's Agent App Widgets and Authorization Block. Agent App Widgets here will load the page that we created. So let's copy that URL that we got from Firebase, and here edit this widget content URL with this pencil icon. Place the link here. Widget placement for us will be chat details, and let's hit continue at the bottom. And that's it about Agent App Widget building block. Let's go to building blocks from the menu on the left, and on app authorization, create a new one. So let's get started. We're gonna build a JavaScript app, so I select that one. Let's click continue. And here is our authorization block already created. We will need a client ID in our app, so make sure to copy that somewhere. And client secret won't be necessary for us this time. But what's important for us is redirect URI whitelist. This is the place where we have to paste our link also. So let's add this one here and click Save Changes at the top. Then scroll a little bit down. Oh, redirect. Why we need this here? Redirect URI is the address of our app that will receive access token in a URL. And we are going to need that access token in order to make calls to our LiveChat API. So after that, we need to add scopes for the application that the app will be using. For this app, we need all chats conversation scopes. So let's add all of them: chats conversation access, chat conversation all, and chat conversation my. Save changes. And for now, that's it about authorization block. We can copy client ID as we're gonna need it later. And let's check how it works and if it works. So let's go to display details first. Add a really short description of our app. It can be changed later, of course. So I'm just putting here random data. I've generated new icon, save changes, and then from the menu on the left, we can install the app privately on our LiveChat license. So I hit the blue install app button, and once it's installed, let's go back to our LiveChat application. Let's refresh that one. Let's send another message as a customer. And once it's loaded, it should load the new app in the top right corner. As you can see, it's right here. And voila, it works. It shows Firebase page here, but we are going to replace it soon with our own app. So we have prepared the basic setup for that. You know already how to place your own URL here. We will now go to the actual application that we need, and we're going to start with the authorization. So for the authorization, I'm going to use sign in with LiveChat. So let's go to our documentation, then go to getting started, authorization, sign in with LiveChat. And here it is. Sign in with LiveChat is basically this button. And when agent in LiveChat log in with this button, it returns the data about the agent and access token that is necessary to make API calls. So let's go to the setup of that. How we can set up the sign in with LiveChat. There are many ways. You can use npm module, but I'm going to use CDN hosted library. So let me show you the code of that. Okay, here it is. So here you have the sign with LiveChat SDK CDN hosted library. Then we need to prepare the button container. So as you can see here in the browser, it asks us to prepare the button container in order to use it. So in our code, it looks like this. It's this one. It's basically just renders the button, and that's it. Then we need to prepare what's going to be what will happen after the user logs in, and we need to actually use the access token. So let me show you how we're gonna do this. It's the matter of initializing the SDK and modify it a little bit, so its code will return the access token for us. The important things here, when we create our variable and use the initialization code from the documentation, we need to place our client ID here. So let's go back to our developers console, authorization block, and here you have the client ID. Just copy that, go back to your code and place that here. Then we decide what to do once the user login. For debug purposes, it's good to keep the console log for user authorized, and also to get the license number and maybe data of the license. But it's only for debug. It's up to you. It's not necessary. As you can see, I've also changing the styles of two elements. This one will hide the LiveChat login button. So sign with LiveChat button will disappear once the user login. And the second one is showing the form that will show that will allow us to send the actual request. It's hidden by default. I will show that later, but we need to show it in the code before. I mean, after the user login, but it has to be right here after the user uses the button actually. And then I use the console log to show the license number. And here, the access token data access token is where the actual access token is placed. So that's what we're gonna need. And of course, the console log for errors. And that's it about sign with LiveChat. So this is used only to get the access token here. We can go to Agent Chat API. So let me show you that in our documentation. So let's go back to, oh, sorry, it was right here. Documentation, it's in a messaging, Agent Chat API. Okay. And here's how our documentation looks. And let me show you how it's gonna work and look in our code. We of course start with setting the constants for each variable for our form. So it will be URL, the image URL, the text for the button, the title, and the subtitle, basic stuff right here. That will run the reach message function. And then we have the payload for the actual request. This payload, to know how to use this payload, we use our documentation. So you go to methods, then to events, and send event. We're going to use send event method. So here we can check for this request which parameters are required. For this one, it's a chat ID and the event. The chat ID we will obtain later using Agent App SDK. And event object is also in our documentation. So let me show you how it looks. You go to events, then reach message. So here are also all the fields that are available for reach message event. Some of them are required, some of them are optional. I've created an example already, so I will show you that directly in the code. So, okay. So the required fields here will be the reach message, of course, the type of it. So we will use the reach message. The recipients of the actual message, I use all. Template ID here will be cards. And then we have the elements. We have in elements to specify title, subtitle, the image URL, and the buttons. The button actually right here. And in the button, it has own text to be shown. Type for the button will be web view. The value specifies the which page should be opened after user clicks on it. And in WebView High, you set how tall in a chat window should be the iframe page loaded. So I choose the full, and postback ID is won't be used by us, but it's required. So you can just use any value here. User ID's RI is required too, but we can leave it empty. It maybe seem like a bit difficult, but don't worry. You can play with different event types to practice. For example, if you see in the documentation, the message has only like text. If you use type message, you can use text and a few other required fields here, and it's much easier. Rich message is harder, but that's what we need here. So you can play with that, and as you use it 2 or 3 times, you get used to it. So don't worry. Okay, so once we have the body of a request, we need to set its endpoint and headers. I'm going to use the Axios library for that. So I've specified the library in head of our document, and here in our request, we need to specify the endpoint. So we're going to use the post request, so it's Axios post and actual endpoint here. All of the endpoints are available in our documentation. So when you go to the methods, this is all the API endpoint and which methods should be used here. Let me zoom this in. Okay, so let's go to methods again. Oh, I zoomed too close. All right. Okay, so it shows all of the methods that are available and all the URLs for them. So let's, for example, if you want to use get chat thread summary, here's the method URL. You can simply copy that and paste into our code. So let's go back to the code. After that, we load our payload that was specified before above in the code, and of course the headers for the request. This request requires the content type header. Here it will be application JSON, and also the authorization, of course. It will be bearer and our access token that we obtained before. As you can see, those two documentation and those two SDKs are API and SDK are going to work together very smoothly. And of course, after that, in the code, we use the regular snippet for logging in the response and errors in the console. That is, of course, also optional. And this is it about Agent Chat API for today. We don't need it, the documentation anymore. We're going to the last documentation. It's Agent App SDK. And we are going to use Agent App SDK to get the chat ID. So our application will know which chat should receive our card sent via application. So let's go to extending UI in our documentation from the top bar, then from the menu on the left, extending agent app SDK, and then we can go directly to agent app SDK installation. Okay. Here are many different ways to install and import this SDK. I'm going to use the UMD build, so you can basically copy the script from here and place it directly into the code. So let me show you that. Yeah, I've used that one. It's right here. And then since our app is going to be in a details section, we're going to use a function that will listen. We're going to create a function to create a details widget right there, and the only event that we're going to listen is the customer profile. So every time the application receives the data about the customer, it will be emitted, and our application will receive the data. So it's copied directly from the documentation. So LiveChat create details widget, then the function will be emitted, and as you can see, we use the customer profile here, and then when the data is received, we use the console log to log the data. This is of course optional, and we use the we set the chat ID for our whole code. So the chat ID in return data from the customer profile is data.chat ID. And that's basically it about coding with LiveChat documentation. All you have to do now is put the values to the request, with the simple HTML form. So I created this right here. As you can see, the widget, LiveChat widget form is hidden by default, so it won't be available until the agent actually logs into the application. So this is basic fields for URL, image URL, title, subtitle, and button text. And at the end, we need to create a button that will run our function. So after that, we can save the file in our directory. So let me save that, index.html, in the same folder. Then in a terminal, just use again the Firebase deploy, and the file should be uploaded. In the meanwhile, you can go to LiveChat and refresh your application. Okay, it's uploaded. So in LiveChat, I've refreshed. Let's go to this page also and refresh it one time. As you can see, it's already here. So the application, okay, let's refresh the frame here. Okay, and as you can see, our app is already right here. And let's check if it works. So I'll copy the URL for the documentation here. You can put any URL, any image URL you want, of course. And the title and subtitle is actually not necessary, but I will use it. Button text. All right. Send it to customer. And as you can see, it's working, and the customer can review the documentation. So everything works as intended, but it doesn't look good, unfortunately. But it doesn't look good yet. But we can use our design system. So I prepared some code before, so I'll just quickly apply it. So hold on. Okay. Okay, let's save that one, deploy it to the Firebase, and in a moment we should see much more better version. Okay, let's refresh. Okay, here you can see how it looks if the user is not logged in. When you click sign in with LiveChat, it asks us to log in, and once we log in, it should load the form. So this is how it's gonna work for the users. Okay, I think I dropped something here. Okay. Yeah, I didn't replace the client ID in my new code. So hold on for a second. It should be okay. Got it. All right. So let's deploy it again. So this is basically the default state of this application. And then when when the agent logs in right here, it should show the actual form. So let's refresh that one too. And it looks much better. Of course, I didn't add any validation for the fields because it's just the idea of the app. There may be the gaps here, maybe smaller, but between the fields. But as I said, it's just an idea, and it's the sample app that you can make in any direction. You can change the fields, send different messages. It's totally up to you. Yeah, okay. I will also show you the how you can enter the design system and how you can use it. So when you are in our documentation, go to extending UI, then extending agent app on the left side, and you should see design system right here. Here is the few introduction and how to use it, and here is the open design system link. And here is the whole design system explained in one big document. So make sure to take a look at this, and we will go back to our application and continue. So the next step that will slowly lead us to the end of this webinar is monetization process. You may ask, what can I do as a developer to make money on my application? And it's pretty simple. It's actually one more building block. So let's go back to Developers Console, open your app, go to Building Blocks, and at the middle bottom you can see the new app monetization block. So let's get started. Here you select the price for the app, billing cycle, and how many trial days you would like to offer for LiveChat users. Billing cycle can be chosen between monthly and one-time payment for the app. If you use the one-time payment, there is no way to set up the trial, but if you choose monthly, user will be charged month to month. And there will be few days. Actually, it's up to you how many days the user can use app completely free. It can be from 0 to 30, as far as I remember. Yeah, it's up to 1 month. No, it's much more. Okay, so I don't remember how many days you can set here. The default value here is 7. And you may ask, what about the commission and how much LiveChat takes for each sold app? It's 80% to 20, same as Uber. So each $1 spent by our customer to your app gives you 80 cents. So that's it. And you can continue. The monetization block is added, and that's basically it. Okay, we can go to the, this is actually the end of creating an app. It's ready, it's working, and that's it. We can go to the part that I think I like the most. It's the tips and tricks. Like it also every time it reminds me of like super opportunities that internet serves us nowadays. Like 100% legit, no scam. Click here, etc. I won't sell you any device that will make you the millionaire, turn your world upside down. But I can give you a few tips that will make the app review process easier for you and for us as well. So first thing here will be free bugs rule. Basically, don't submit the app if you haven't tested yet. When we test the app and we find free bugs, we stop testing and send it back to you. So make sure to test it entirely and then apply to us. It saves time for you and for us. Trust me, it's much better then to cooperate. The second thing here will be make a tutorial for your app. If your app requires more than 30 seconds for user to get to know it, make a tutorial. Things that are obvious for you doesn't have to be necessarily obvious to everybody. So even the simple 3 steps tutorial is better than none. Make sure to create one. If you don't have idea for the tutorial, you can go to our help center on our website and you can create simple tutorial basing on our tutorials that have been already created there. And the third thing here will be use design system. If you don't have your own fancy design, you can use our design system for free. We are using it, so if user of your application integration they won't feel like it's something different, something other software. It will work smoothly and look better together. So it's better to use design system to make app look much better for the customer that will buy it later. So I think that's it. We can go to the end, to the Q&A session. So I'll read the chat to check if there were any questions. If you have any, you can ask them now or send me an email to developers@livechatinc.com. The email is shown on the screen, I believe, right there. So I'll give it a few minutes so you can drop the questions if there are any. Meanwhile, I will remind you that all of this things that we did today are available in a comment in the description of this webinar, and if you're watching this later, it's also in the description of this video on YouTube. You can always watch it again and maybe go back a few minutes to make sure you understand everything correctly. All right, so let's wait a few minutes, check if there will be any questions. Okay, can we change the chat interface like on our design, changing job title, avatar, etc.? Yeah, let me show you on the screen again. Where was it? Okay, that's this one. Okay. When you are logged in to LiveChat application, like the chat interface like here can be changed for like an application, but you can change the customize your chat widget on your website. So you can change the theme here. You can change how the minimized window will look. There are many other options that you can actually customize like you want. You can change the colors, change the position, how it behaves on the mobile. So there are many other options. Make sure to log into LiveChat. There is a free sign up, so you can test it for 2 weeks for free. And for agents, you can change the avatar here. You can change the job title, the name for the agent, and set other settings here. So yeah, you can change the chat interface like a chat widget. The chat application itself cannot be changed, so it's only like in this one whole package. Also, there is an option to create your own chat widget. You can use our documentation to create your own chat widget. Then you can design it whatever you want. There are no boundaries. It's totally up to you how you will design it. So make sure to visit our documentation and find our documents about how to extend like chat widget. Here is one that will allow you to create own or customize already implemented default chat widget in our included chat widget in a live chat. And can you tell me own chat widget documentation using React? I'm not sure if I understand the question, but I believe you are asking that what kind of documentation you can use right now. So when you go to LiveChat documentation, extending UI, extending chat widget, you have the overview of each available documentation for extending chat widget, like mobile chat widget, the API for JavaScript, the moments. This is the one that we used, and for rich message and customer SDK, sorry, that will allow you to create your own advanced custom solution. It allows you to create the chat widget from scratch, but it's not that easy. But whole SDK is available here. You can use it for free to create own chat widgets and use it on your website, in your own application, anywhere you want. Let me know if that was what you were looking for. You're welcome. Yeah, there is a lag in the video, probably a few minutes between what I say and what you hear, so it's totally normal. Okay, I will wait 2 more minutes for your questions. If there weren't any of you have some question, you can always send the questions to my email. It's developers@livechatinc.com, and I'll make sure to answer as quick as possible. Also, if you have any feedback about this webinar or maybe ideas for the future webinars or for future documentations or features, you can also send them to this email. That will be really appreciated. Thank you. All right, I think we can end this. So I would like to thank you very much, everyone, for participating in this webinar, and invite you to next one, and also to subscribe our YouTube channel to make sure you will get notification about any new video we post here and any updates. So thank you very much. Have a good day and see you soon. Bye bye.